Hello, beautiful people. This is Chris Maddox. I am the founder of the Wild Woman Project and Wild Woman Fest, and I'm speaking to you today because I always speak to you at new moon time, and the new moon is upon us. It arrives August 2nd, 2016. And, if you're new to the project, you're going to notice that we're going to talk about the moon cycle a lot and really look to the moon cycle for so many reasons. And in essence, it's a clock in the sky that you can see every night, and it has its own rhythm, and it's something that we can really count on, even as the moon changes the face that she's showing every day. We can count on that rhythm. And we know that the new moon will happen, and then the moon will begin to wax, and it'll come into fullness, and then it'll wane, and then it'll be new again. So every time it's new, this is the time where we meet in Wild Woman Project circles. This is the time where I create this new moon report for you, so you have something you can work with on your own at home. This is the time where you can download your new moon companion, which has a sort of in-depth visualization and intention setting. So it's a time where we really are encouraging you to pause and make time for deep listening, so that from listening to your own inner guidance, from contemplating certain things that come up from that listening, that you sort of walk away with a sense of clarity. And that clarity is going to make you more effective, more powerful in the world. And it's going to make sort of the doingness of your life when you reemerge from your little retreat a little bit more powerful, because you're anchored in your truth. So that's what you can do. That's what the new moon offers up, this sort of like promise of a juicy retreat space that you can create on your own, or that you can enjoy with others. So our theme at the Wild Woman Project here on this new moon is awakening the lion heart. So we're looking to the astrology for inspiration, right? So the new moon on August 2nd is in the sign of Leo. And Leo is represented by the constellation there of the lion. So lions, the lioness, the pride of lions, these are things that you can be contemplating now and throughout the cycle. Like, what do they represent to you? When you think of them, what is the meaning there for you? One of the things that I think we see a lot in storytelling and myth is lion being a symbol of courage. And I think that's very true to the Leo archetype. And, when we're talking about this, we're talking about in you, right? So we all have aspects of this. So you have a lion's heart. Whether or not it feels like a full-blown lion quite yet, that's for you to determine. But this idea is that within you, within me, within all of us, we have this part of us which is so courageous. And I think that courage is really born from this sense of the heart. So if you look to the astrology actually says that the anatomical heart is ruled by Leo. So one of the great gifts of this new moon and this cycle is the opportunity to connect deeply with our own hearts, right? So that could mean just, the anatomical heart, the beating heart, the constant pulse, the center of it all. It could mean tapping into our sense of what moves our heart, what we love, what we feel devoted to. Because, one of the major things that we can learn from the Leo archetype is something around their loyalty. And I think this is something that is often overlooked when people talk about the Leo archetype. They often get sort of a bad reputation for being egomaniacs. And that may also be true to a certain extent, but I think one of their strengths is their sense of loyalty, when they decide that they love someone or something, that lion's heart is there, and they'll be bold for it, and they'll burn for it, and they'll do whatever they need to do. They'll speak up, they'll raise their hand, they'll be brave for that thing or that person that they love, that they feel a sense of devotion to. So that's part of like kind of what we're awakening in Circle and right now in ourselves, is this sense of like, what is the power of my heart? The power of my heart. There's, a lot of beautiful poets and mystics who believe that love, the feeling, the practice, the experience of love is synonymous with God or the beloved or the one or the great creative intelligence of the universe. That idea of one love, it being like the most powerful thing. So Leo, you envision this lion, right, and all this power. But what if that power is not necessarily anchored in a sense of, I have more money than you, or I'm physically stronger than you, but in fact is anchored in, I love so much that nothing and no one can stop me. That kind of power, like deep, vibrant, whoosh power. So if you look again to the astrology, you'll learn that the sign of Leo, which we're really being inspired by, is ruled by the sun. The sun, right? So other signs are ruled by planets, like Venus or Mercury or Saturn, these kinds of things. The sun, Leo. Okay, so we learn a lot about Leo by contemplating the fact that their planetary ruler is the sun. So what does it take for a person or a being, right, to do like the sun does, to sit at the center of the solar system and burn and shine and give light? It's in so many ways quite actually a vulnerable positioning, as any person who's had any amount of like fame or attention can know. It's often romanticized from the outside, but in the midst of that experience, it's a kind of intense exposure, which takes courage. It takes a lot of courage to be that vulnerable. So to be that seen. So you can think of the sun shining bright. And it's something to note that, our perception from where we are in space, in this solar system, we see the sun as being like, whoa, this big, amazing thing, But if you look up at the night sky, you see uncountable amount of stars. Maybe somebody has counted them. I should look that up. So many stars, and each of those stars is a sun. So it's kind of points back to that thing of like, either everyone's special or no one's special. That kind of a thing, because there's a kind of specialness with the Leo archetype. They tend to be very vibrant and expressive, and Leo sort of like rules the theater and that sort of a thing. So there's a sense of specialness that can follow that Leo archetype around. But I think it's good to remember that there are just like, there are bajillions, that's official word, bajillions of stars in the sky. There is space for all of those suns, all of that light. So these ideas of how can we awaken now, right now, when we need it the most, right? In a world that is, we're seeing a lot of breakdown. We're seeing a lot of violence. We're seeing a lot of inequality. We're seeing a lot of things that are extremely hard, right? And we're in a time in the world where we're seeing that with the click of a finger on our phone. We can see horrible, tragic events constantly happening. At the same time, information is being revealed. Truths are coming out. It's a time, I think collectively, maybe you've been feeling it. It's been heavy a little bit, right? It's been heavy. And when we as people think about and align with what we love, what we're devoted to, be it an ideal, a being, a person, and we align with that. What that does is it invigorates the heart, and the heart needs it because, it's a lot. What's going on in the world, I think, is a lot, and it's hard. And it can be very draining. So with this work, in Circle, in this new moon report, in your new moon companion, we are going to be activating the heart. And hopefully that's something, that sense of light at the heart, that sense of shining and burning, you can carry with you throughout the cycle to help you, to uplift you, to make you boldly in the heart. So that is our exploration. I hope you enjoy all of the juicy tidbits in this new moon report. And if you can find a circle, find one, go. I'll put a link below this video, and you just contact the circle leaders directly. And if you can't make it to any of that, you can download your new moon companion. And that's you and I and 2 MP3s. We'll do a deeper look at the astrology, we'll do a visualization, and we'll do some intention setting. And you can download that right now. So I hope that you have an amazing cycle. I should say we have a circle leader training coming up this fall. And if that's something that kind of speaks to you, if you think learning how to facilitate your own women's circle and create sacred space and make juicy visualizations and build a community around you, that might be something you'd want to check out. So you'll see, I'll put links to all that stuff below this. So I'm wishing you an amazing, bold, courageous cycle where you love, love, love.